Frieda showed us yesterday that she truly is an offensive star. She socked 2 home runs off the American Dreams, the best team in the game. That's not too bad for a forgotten character whose claim to fame was mostly her naturally curly hair. Frieda came in mostly as a one-off gag character and never was really all that well developed in the strip. Schultz tried to give her some personality by giving her a cat, but that storyline never really worked out. There was a lot of build-up for this storyline, and it just didn't last that long. And I'm not convinced that this actually looks like a cat at all. Anyway, Frieda was also known for refusing to wear a hat because of her naturally curly hair, but there were apparently times where she wore one anyway. And I'll tell you what, I'm pretty happy that I decided to give Frieda all of those hitting and batting abilities and all that stuff a while ago. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into this. We'll probably only have, here we go, here's the audio. We'll get out of this demo in a second. We will probably only play a single game today instead of playing 2. I anticipate that we're going to be able to win anyway. I think somebody was telling me that I should make an adjustment here or there, but I don't recall. So anyway, tell me again what you think a little bit later on, and we'll focus on that later. We're going to play against the World Powers here today, and I think that this is the one that we want. And so we just go ahead and jump straight back into this, and let's see how we do. So it's Peppermint Patty on the mound. It's been a little while since we've seen her pitch. We had Charlie Brown pitch both games yesterday, if I remember right. And so we'll see what we do and see how our luck is. That was a pretty good play, 2 outs. So I hope the weather's okay for you wherever you are. We're looking at a lot of rain today. And it's raining home runs right now, 1-0. Well, so much for that. Peppermint Patty still needs a little bit of work, I gather. So, anyway, 1-0, and let's see if we can get Solly out of here. Yeah, there we go. Now, 1-0, it's been a little while since we've been behind to a team like this. Somebody was telling me to move up, so we'll try to move up. I'm not sure, honestly, if it makes much of a difference one way or another. But we'll always try. We'll try to move up. We'll try to move down. We'll try all sorts of different things here. So there are 2 different sort of strategies when it comes to NES games in general that let you move up and down in the batter's box. You move up usually to try to cut off the ball before it curves. You move down to be able to see the ball when it's curving and take a ball. So here we're trying to move up, and we haven't had much more luck one way or the other, so that's sort of the way it is. Here comes Pigpen. And Pigpen with 2 home runs is all, being a little bit outclassed by some of his teammates. And this is a pop-up to nowhere. So much for that. Well, we're going to have to keep trying here as we're down 1-0. And they have this person named Socks. World Powers has a shortstop named Socks, so go figure that one out. Anyway, good times here. Hope that you've had the chance by now to check out the video about our baseball card world in 1983, which is doing fairly well. It's kind of what we want to see from the long-form videos on this channel, of course. I have a little bit of confidence there in the future. Man, we're having a hard time fielding today. Who is it that we have there at shortstop again? Is it still Sally? I think it is, and that was not a particularly good fielding play. But we get out of the inning anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Boy, it totally explodes on that one. Who is this that we have up here? It's Shermie. Yeah, Shermie's another really big power hitter. So if he can get a hold of one like he did there, we'll have a tie ball game, and it's a tie ball game. How about that? And just like that, we get our first hit, and it ends up being a long hit. Makes it 1-1, and that's what we like to see. Here comes Linus, who's looking for his first home run. Yep, so good times here. Hopefully we can get a victory today. We won't get a whole bunch of money from it, though. We do get a lot of money from our side because we have a lot of prestige, but the World Powers are not a very prestigious team. Basically, at this point, since we're going to stop doing the exhibition game trick, the most money we'll get is from the... boy, that looked embarrassing. Most money we'll get will be from the Ninja Black Sox and from the American Dreams, assuming that we're able to beat them. And we will eventually get to the point where we can beat the American Dreams. It's going to take a while, though. Yeah, it was Sally at short, and that was a pretty poor play by her. She's only hitting 90, so as long as she has a batting average like that, we're going to keep pumping Snoopy up, and we'll try to take her place here before too long. Well, and that's the end of that. Of course, Sally did get the base hit, so maybe she's not doing all that poorly after all. I don't remember exactly what Peppermint Patty's stamina is. Other than that, I don't think it's quite as good as Charlie Brown's. Alright, we got this guy set up. There we go. Of course, we haven't done much to help Peppermint Patty learn how to hit. So maybe we'll eventually do that for some of these pitchers. That's going to take a little while. That's alright though. She can't do a lot of damage if she just strikes out like that. Of course, we don't have anyone on base to damage. That was pretty cool, by the way. When you hit one into the crowd like that, you can kind of see it looks like somebody's glove comes out or something like that. I don't know. There's a little. There are all sorts of little like graphical glitches and things in this game. So it's all those small things that you see, right? That's what really brings you joy. All right, hit and run action, and it works for us. All right, here we go again. Let's see if Pigpen can sock one. Yep, there it goes. 4-1, so this is Pigpen's game, that's for sure. And now here comes Shermie. Boy, it would be nice if we could beat this team by 10 runs. It's 5-1, so we're getting there. It definitely is an advantage to having players who can hit a lot of home runs. Suddenly, it's 5-1, just like that. Of course, Linus is unable to join the fun. So he kind of trots over to first base. Doesn't look very fast, that's for sure. Five to 1. I can see you guys have probably seen a lot of this over on Twitter. Last I was checking, there are a lot of people arguing with each other about whether baseball needs to go for the salary cap or whether it's not going to solve anything and all this other stuff. And I don't know how you feel about it. I've talked about things like one way or another, but my honest feeling about all of that is that what baseball needs is it needs labor peace more than anything else. And no matter what, like, it needs to get to the point that there's labor peace and that it can stop talking about these stupid things that we've been talking about for decades now. I mean, there's so much money in the game right now that, like, it's ridiculous. Teams, So you talk about big market, small market teams. Really, in Major League Baseball, you should not have a difference between big and small market teams. There's no teams in this sport at that level that are in like really small cities that nobody's ever heard of, right? You don't have a Green Bay Packers, right? And you never have, by the way. That's the whole reason they designed the National League the way that they did way back in the 1870s, is to avoid having a situation like you do with the Green Bay Packers, right? That's the truth. Oh, I almost hit him. Come on, Schroeder. And that's really what the sport needs. I mean, if you want the sport to be popular, if you want people to care about it and stuff like that, you need to have labor peace one way or another. There's more than enough money to go around. So, you know, let's have the money go around. What I will tell you, though, is that if you're playing something like OTP, and if you want to put together a season where there's a lot of parity, the easiest way to do that in OTP is to make sure that there's no differences in media contracts. That's what the secret is. Maybe we do get to that eventually in Major League Baseball. I mean, yeah, we're seeing things happen now where, you know, Major League Baseball is taking control of, you know, the... bad job, Franklin. You know, Major League Baseball is taking control of a lot of the television contracts and so on for a whole bunch of different teams. And, you know, maybe you do get to the point eventually where, you know, teams all have basically the same television contract and it comes from a centralized place and stuff like you do with the NFL. You know, that I think could help. That's probably a better idea than doing what they're doing now, you know. Someone was telling me, oh, there's a lot of revenue sharing, you know, among television contracts and stuff like that, which is true until you look at the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? Which seems to have an exception for billions of dollars, right? I mean, anyway, it's a ridiculous thing. It's really frustrating to follow, and the worst part about it is that it's going to be bad for the future of the sport, which is already struggling to find young fans, right? So... anyway, we'll see what happens in the end, but I worry that there's going to be a work stoppage, and that's not what you want to see. And I worry that the work stoppage is going to come even though the Players Association just lost Tony Clark. That was another home run by Pigpen. Is that 3 for him today? You guys are supposed to tell me that. You're supposed to be keeping track of this stuff. Remember the beginning of this game where I was thinking, oh, this might be harder than I thought? Surprised they don't change pitchers. They gotta change it here, right? Because Linus can end this game with one swing of the bat. Oh, I know that sound that's behind me, you probably can't hear it, but it's the cat over in the litter box. There's your one swing of the bat, and there's your ball game. So we just beat the World Powers 11-1. In 4 innings. This video is a little bit faster than I kind of wanted it to be. I was kind of hoping for something that would last a little bit longer than 10 minutes. So we get our $80,000 from that. You know what I think we're going to do here? I think we're going to do it again, huh? So let's play against the same team one more time. Not going to change anything except for the starting pitcher. Let's see how we do here. So now we're the road team, and we'll just go straight back at it. Once again, as I mentioned before and talk about all the time, if you enjoy the things this channel has made and will continue to make in the future, please consider sponsoring the channel, or, you know, consider becoming a member of the channel through YouTube memberships, or also consider sponsoring me and supporting this work over on Patreon, where there's a lot of cool stuff. You can download old games and stuff, and things are being added all the time. Well, it's actually been a little while since I've had the time to add new stuff, but I have a whole ton of stuff to get uploaded over there. So you should go check it out. You know, even if you don't want to pay, go check out the Patreon anyway, because I put all of the new videos that I make up over there. I make links to them. So you can check those out, and that can be helpful because sometimes YouTube doesn't inform people of new things when they come out. No, there's not enough time. Anyway, so go check that out. That would be very, very helpful. Barring anything else, you can also be a paying member over at the blog, the Baseball Replay Journal. Which, speaking of which, I need to get my schedule figured out a little bit better so I can get things turned around and get back to posting those, blog posts in the morning instead of trying to scramble in the evening. Things have been a little bit rough here for the last little while, so anyway. If you really want to know the inside baseball here, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but my wife is out of the country right now. She's over in Taiwan for the Chinese New Year and to visit my father-in-law, who I don't think he's doing necessarily all that badly, but we know that he's been having some issues with his heart and stuff like that. He's in his 70s. So I know she wants to, be closer and try to help out. So anyway, it's not a bad thing. You might know by now I have 3 kids, and I mean, they're well behaved. They're really good kids. So it's not like it takes a whole bunch of time or effort or whatever to, be an effective parent. Like I say, they're really good kids. My son, who's 16, has been taking like a cooking class at school. It's sort of this random thing. He wanted to take this culinary class. And so he like made dinner last night. And I mean, he's just an amazing cook. It's just incredible how talented this kid is. And I keep thinking, man, when I was 16, I wouldn't want to cook anything, man. I would go with my friend over to 7-Eleven for Slurpees. That's the closest we ever got to making food, right? We didn't do any of this stuff. Anyway, kids these days are pretty impressive. And I know I can say stuff like that on this channel because I was looking at the demographics, especially for these videos. And surprise, surprise, everybody's like my age. So we're all a bunch of, I don't think we're old guys yet, but we're getting older, right? Mostly people who remember baseball stars and who actually remember reading Peanuts in the newspapers. You know that this comic has been gone for, I mean, what was it, like 2000, right? When it ended, or 1999, something like that? It's been a while. I have a bunch of the books back in the day when they were first selling the reprinted books. I don't have the complete collection in paper format. I do have a lot of the books, though, in digital format. I have a complete collection there. And, of course, as you know from watching all of the videos, I do have the ability to get at the original newspapers as well. Peanuts is such an interesting... Oh, shoot. Thank you, Socks. Well, this is going to be an interesting game, isn't it? I was going to say Peanuts is such an interesting comic because, it deals with a lot of things, like feeling insecure and, feeling frustrated and, all that other jazz. You don't see so much in the funny pages. And it's kind of sort of a uniquely, like, I guess, American comic when all is said and done. And of course, it's also got the best storylines, baseball storylines, I should say, out of any comic of all time. So you have that going for yourself as well. And so it was only natural to name these players after Peanuts characters. I know that people were talking about, oh, you should make this named after great baseball players and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. I think it's more fun this way. Go, 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 go. Let's see if Lucy can get a triple at least. She's got to get a triple out of this. Inside the park home run. Unfortunately, it doesn't count as a home run, but wasn't it Lucy that had one of those earlier too? Back before we made her into Ricky Henderson? My favorite old Inside the Park home run clip to watch is Willie Wilson from the '79 regular season. That's one that gets bandied about a lot on places like, Twitter and whatever. That's a fun one to watch. The end of the game of the week, and I can't remember that. I think it was an extra inning game, right? The Yankees and the Royals, neither of which were really good teams in '79 in the end anyway. But Wilson manages to hit one that goes behind the outfielders, and then he just goes racing around the bases, scores it standing up and stuff. It's just a sight to behold. Yeah, you saw that hand come out again, huh? I have a feeling that the World Powers are not a particularly good team. Since we're just totally dominating this team. 7-3, it's the top of the second inning. I didn't even make any improvements. Wow, that wasn't very good. Alright, well maybe now the game is going to sort of punish us for scoring all those runs, right? Giving up 3 hits, 3 runs as well. We wouldn't have given up any runs if it wasn't for that home run. They went really deep on us. And that happens, you know, when you're getting to this level of this game. You know, we've been pretty impressive here for the most part. I know people will ask all the time why I don't throw the drop pitch. It's because Charlie Brown's drop rating is pretty poor. We've been spending a lot more money trying to help out the rest of the relief corps. I think that the focus right now, though, is going to be on trying to get Snoopy up to snuff so that he can take over for Sally at short. And the reason why is not because we don't like Sally, it's just because we want to have the correct lineup, right? Then we can, you know, advertise it and all this other stuff. So that's the plan. That's what we're doing. First, though, we want to get money, money, money. Yep, how about that, huh? And this is the bottom of the order. You have to remember that. Here comes Charlie Brown. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. What, is this World Powers team of like the worst defensive rating of all time or what? I mean, this is incredible. It's incredible that that landed. We came close. If we were a little bit faster, we would have scored. Oh, go, go, go. There she is again. Grand slam home run for Frieda. She knows it's her episode, right? Boy, I tell you, we're going to have to play this team twice every time we play them. I mean, this is just a laughter. There you go, 12-3. And again, these are players I haven't actually improved. I didn't improve them today. I haven't improved them recently. Right? We're just a better team than they are. That's all there is to it. We're gonna keep improving as well. Oh, that wasn't very good. That was not an improved swing. Alright, well, maybe Linus can give us another home run, huh? Not quite, but this should be 2. Let's see. Yeah, we'll make it easily. Yeah, the throw goes all the way over to third base. This team at least doesn't know how to use the cutoff, man, so it is. No point in tagging up because there's 2 outs. Violet came close to giving us that precious 10-run lead. Unfortunately, though, this game is going to last a little bit longer than the last one, but probably not much longer. Alright, let's see if we can get him. Yep. Hulk, I think Hulk is the one who hit that home run off of us. Feed him more of that stuff in on the hands, and let's see if we can get him to chase. He just stands there like the house by the side of the road. That's it. Alright, here we go. Oh, that was a little bit of bad luck, but that's alright. Schroeder's not quite a good enough hitter to do a lot of damage for us, but look at that, it's going to be a double. Pulls that one slowly down the line, and there he meanders as slow as he possibly can into second base, so not exactly known for his speed. Oops, I pushed I pushed A and right instead of A and up, so yeah, that's on me. Alright, 2 outs, just like that. Plato. So Socks has to be Socrates, right? If you have Plato in front of him. Or behind him, that is. Something like that. I don't know. We can actually make up the rules as we want, right? We can, like... we can interpret it however we want. Yeah, that wasn't a great idea. I probably shouldn't have swung. Frieda's hitting 538. The funny thing is that Franklin on the bench is actually hitting better. Alright. So all I can think about now is what are we going to do with all this money we're about to get? Pigpen now with 5 home runs. He's going to be close to the league leaders in home runs pretty soon. And there's another RBI, and there's that magic 10-run lead. Well, let's see if we can add to it, because we have to worry about the bottom of the 4th as well. Bottom of the 5th, I'm sorry. We didn't score in the 4th. Oh, that does it. So we have to deal with just that 10-run lead. And we're going to have to take Charlie Brown out of here. Yeah, he doesn't have it. So we'll put Marcy back in. Let's see how her curve is to this side. Yep, that's what we want to see. And she's got to face Genghis Khan. Boy. Marcy facing Genghis Khan. I bet you weren't... before this series started, I bet you weren't expecting to see that matchup. That would make a great thumbnail, right? There you go. 5-inning win. We are on a roll. 19 hits, 13 runs in 5 innings. 13-3. We would have won earlier if we hadn't given up that home run. And they give Marcy the win, right? Because the game only went 5 innings. Frieda has 3 home runs now, Pigpen 5. And this would be another 70,000. 80,000, I'm sorry. Now here comes the fun part. So, who do we improve here, right? So we definitely want to get Snoopy built up a little bit more. Sally's got a 12 for defense. Snoopy right now actually is a better hitter. So I think that we probably want to build Snoopy up, and then we want to spend the rest, I think, trying to get maybe this relief pitching core up a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. I think that's what we'll start off with. Yeah, we'll do this, and we'll do it twice, I think. Yeah, it takes them up now to 50,000, so we won't worry about that too much more. Marcy's going to be a key pitcher for us in just about every game, so we definitely want her to pitch well. Alright. Boy, we didn't get very much out of that. Okay, we're going to have to make gradual improvement with some of these guys. Yeah, again. Alright, so there you go. We have a little bit more money, so what we could do... Let's see, we don't even have enough to give him better hitting stats. Let's see about hers. Now, she's got 12,000, okay. Now, the other ones like hers, I mean, we're not going to do much with that. I think what we need to do is look at over at Joe Schlabotnik and see we don't even have enough money to support him. So we're at one of those points where it's going to be a little bit expensive. Yeah, Pigpen with a 15 batting. Since this is Frieda's episode, this is kind of what she looks like at the moment. But we will probably eventually get her hitting and batting up to 15. She's got the sort of profile that means she's going to be an excellent player. Schroeder's the other one that we want to get built up, but this time we're going to have Snoopy for our next game go into the lineup in place of Sally. So that's what the plan is. And then some of these other people, Woodstock will end up having 15 for running, will be our pinch runner for a while, and so on and so forth. Anyway, the other thing we need to do before I forget, because I know you guys are going to remind me of this, is we need to make sure that we have a couple games played. So we'll do that one. And we'll do its mate over here. And then we need to have these two teams play against each other. BW and JR. Alright, so now if we go look at the standings real quick, that doesn't tell us much. You can see that we are 5-2. We're up there with the Japan Robins in second place. Only 2 losses so far, and I think that these improvements are going to help us quite a bit. Franklin still has a 652 batting average. Pigpen's right behind him, then Shermy and Frieda. We still do need to figure out a way to get Franklin back in the lineup, so we'll figure it out. But what will likely happen is everybody else will get better than him. Pigpen's tied for the lead in terms of number of home runs. Pete Rose up there as well. That's interesting. All American Dream players, right? But before too long, we'll be in front of them. Pigpen with 16 RBIs, so he's in charge of that. Peppermint Patty has a small ERA, but not as good as Sandy Koufax, so that's going to be difficult for us when we play against them. And Koufax has won 5 games. And that's pretty much it. So what we're going to see tomorrow, we'll actually go this way. You'll see us play again against the Japan Robins. It'll be against them, and then it'll be against the Brave Warriors the next time. And maybe we'll play 1 game, maybe we'll play 2 games. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. So there you go. That was a pretty intense game, intense moment. We have a couple more things to highlight next time for our video tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed that. Wow, we got 2 games in a half hour. I didn't think we would end up doing it. So there you have it. A lot more baseball stars to come. Talk to you later.